NBA Finals. They start tonight. Denver, the Nuggets hosting the Heat. It's game one. You know, this is the second time the finals have pitted a 1 seed against an 8 seed. The other time, 99, when San Antonio dispatched the 8-seeded Knicks in 5 games. The Nuggets, they reached the finals with a 4-game sweep of the Lakers, and this is Denver's first NBA Finals trip, their first time playing for a league title of any kind since the 76 ABA Finals, which they lost to the Nets. Heat, they survived that historic near comeback by the Celtics to win again in the East in 7 games. Miami, well, 7th time that they are seeking their 4th NBA title. Now, the Nuggets, heavy favorites to win game 1 and the series, according to Caesars Sportsbook. But the Heat are no strangers to being the underdog. 150 to 1 to win the NBA title entering the playoffs, which was the longest odds of any team to reach the NBA Finals since the ABA-NBA merger. Okay, so I guess the first question is, what are you guys excited to watch as the NBA Finals tips off tonight?
I'm excited to see if the Miami Heat will continue to do what they've been doing, which is crash the party. That's what they do. They walked into Milwaukee and they punched him right in the face and said, oh, Giannis, you think you're getting another ring? You guys think the number 1 seed is just going to walk right to the finals? You're out. They take them out because they drag them into a street fight. They dispatched the Knicks in 6 games in New York. They're celebrating on the streets thinking they're going to get to a conference finals. That ended quickly, 6 games. Then, of course, what they did to the Celtics was painful. They literally won 5 games in that series. Let's be honest. That game 6 serendipity only led to a game 7, where then they blew out the Celtics on their home court in a game 7. So now I want to see the Denver Nuggets. They are the star-driven team. They are much different. Miami's the counterculture. The Nuggets have stars. The Nuggets have had this run now. They were the top seed. They are a heavy favorite. Can they out-talent them? Yes. But can they beat them in a street fight? That's what I'm looking to see.
You know, I think that's a great synopsis, but I would push back a little bit in that the Nuggets, while they have stars, this is their big dance. Like, this is their coming out party to the world. All we heard last series, even though they swept the Lakers, was Michael Malone come to the podium and say,
what about us?
What about us, right? Like,
Right.
all y'all are still talking about the Lakers, and so I think this is a really big moment for the Nuggets. When it comes to the Nuggets, I know that folks may not be as familiar with Nikola Jokic, but if you like some of the circus shot Steph gives you, there were so many moments in the Lakers series, but over the course of this playoff series for the Nuggets, that had you shaking your head at the type of shot-making ability that this guy has at 7 feet, right? And so I'm excited to see this Nuggets offense on a big stage. I am curious to see how well they play. I'm not worried about rust. Rust to me might be like a quarter, but I don't really buy that. I just want to see what this looks like now that they're finally on this stage, because this is a team that I would argue has been waiting for at least 2, if not 3 seasons to be healthy in the postseason, and they finally are.
Generally, when you get to the NBA Finals, there's something that really grabs America, and they say, man, I got to watch this because of that. What do you think in this NBA Finals? What is there that you think can happen in this series where America says, boy, I am locked in on this final?
What Monica just said. Jokic gives you a performance for the ages. We forget that he averaged a 30-point triple-double in a playoff series. Like, let's keep that in mind. So when you love stats and you love that side of it, that piques your interest. Like, okay, like you just said, now you're on the big stage. Let's see what you're all about. Now everybody's watching. This isn't just the diehard basketball people like us. This is now all of America. This is, you know, Dolores and Artie in Idaho who are tuning in to see what's going on in the NBA Finals, and are they interested? And they're going to see this guy, and he is a magician. He is, I've said this many times, he is essentially, it's Bill Walton, it's Arvydas Sabonis, it's a lot of these different players all mixed into one. He's a great passer, he's a great scorer, he can make the trick shots. And I think he's so relatable, America, because he looks like so much of us.
Very relatable.
Very
relatable.
Again, that is a physique that I certainly can relate to.
The dad bod.
You act like you're not in shape. But anyway, this guy doesn't eat carbs. But anyway, I think as much as we talk about Artie and Dolores, to stick with your names, I also think this is an interesting opportunity for young folks playing ball and coaches, right? Like, we've all been a part of the discourse with guys that love the sport on whether or not that stuff isn't good for the game, but in terms of teaching the game to young people, right? Like, there's, to me, both sides, both teams in this series do some really good fundamental things in terms of their connectivity on defense, the way they run their offenses. Like, there are parts of their game that I could hear youth coaches being like, hey, did you see X, Y, and Z do this? Do that. Let's try this. And so I think this is a really great opportunity in terms of a finals for the league and for to continue to grow the
fundamental
fan base.
finals.
Yeah,
teach
wow.
about zone
Don't say
defense,
that.
teach about passing.
That doesn't sound great.
It doesn't.
It's not in this AAU
You're going to
driven
get
league.
crazy shots, though, too.
You're right about that. Nikola Jokic will score 28 or more points.
28 or more? I'm going to go over.
Wow.
I think he's going to. This is a big series for him offensively. They're going to try to make him a passer, but in the middle of that zone, where are you going, Jay? He's going to dominate, and he's going to be able to be that scorer in the middle of that zone. 30 points for him. Oh, lock.
Okay. Jamal Murray's points are set at 25.5. Monica, you taking the over or the under?
Honestly, I wanted to push this because I think it's right on the money. I'm going to go over. Postseason average for him is about, or at least in the last series, I should say, versus Lakers, is like 32. So I think that this team is going to come with a bunch of energy, ready for game one. I'm going to go slightly over.
JWill, Jimmy Butler is at 27.5 points in game one. You going over or under?
I will probably go under in his first game, but I will say this. Let's remember when Phoenix got 2 wins at home against Denver. Do you remember D-Book was averaging 40 on 80% shooting?
Right.
That's what it took. And Denver was in both games.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what it took from a prolific offensive performance in order for Phoenix to win those 2 games. I think the Miami Heat are going to get swept. Like, I'm not being disrespectful to the Heat. I have all the respect in the world for the Heat. But if Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat can find a way to win this series, like, I'm going to start talking about Jimmy Butler as one of the godlike people in the game of basketball.
As you should.
One of the godlike people in the game of basketball. I have never seen a run in the history of the NBA playoffs with the cast of characters that he has. No disrespect to Gabe Vincent, to Caleb Martin. I love all their stories. It's incredible. I've never seen a man carry a team like this to an NBA final. I've never seen it before. If it happens.
We have debated, it seems like, ad nauseum here. Is this guy like elite level all-star, talking about Jimmy Butler? If these guys win it against the Denver Nuggets, has he solidified his Hall of Fame status?
Is that right? Locked. Not even a question.
Yes.
By the way, it might even be close to being locked already just off the run.
It's close.
Just off the run, it's close. The way he plays, the spots he gets to, the big game performances, regardless of injury or not, I have all the respect in the world for it if he's able to pull it off. I just don't see it happening.
It is an uphill climb. I'm with you. Like, I know we've got tons of conversation to get into, and I don't want to give away any questions that we have scripted, but I'm with you, right? Like, if he can pull this off, this will be historic on so many different levels. But I just think the counterpoint or the competition on the other side, like, this is a historically great dude in terms of Jokic, in terms of what he's doing with the triple-doubles going into the finals. I think there's a huge chip on this Nuggets shoulder. I'm not willing to go sweep because I think the Heat have bet or have proved us wrong time and time again. My shock level, if they pull it off, out of 10, would be like
35.
7.
What? 7?
It would be like a 7. Yo, every
seven.
time we've counted them out,
Yes.
they have proved us wrong. It would still be shocking.
We
but
keep
like,
waiting for this carriage to turn into a
Right.
pumpkin.
It would be
That's what
shocking,
we're
but
waiting
it
for.
wouldn't
Disney
be.
reference, Cinderella, of
Yeah,
course.
I got it. We got
But I just want to make sure.
Well done. Well
Little
played.
Mermaid is the reference you need right now. But anyway, go ahead.
right. But still, that's why while we're talking about game one, which is tonight, I don't think game one is the pivotal game it normally is. I don't think it is. Before we even get to that, I think it's game two. Because I think game one, because of the layoff for one team, and the other team, it's that reset, and now we're going into the altitude and all that other stuff. I don't know if we get 2 days now, and then you play game two.
Yeah.
So even if the Heat lose tonight, there's still Saturday, 2 days of adjustments and everything else. There's still a way to go home with a split. So tonight, to me, sets a tone. You kind of see what both teams want to do at the outset, and then the adjustments happen. I am praying for Malone versus Spoelstra trash talk in post games and off days. More of it, please, coaches. You guys both are great at it. But on top of it, I think the fact that you get 2 days off and then we don't play till Sunday I think that benefits Miami.
So let me ask you this, JWill, because there's been a lot of talk of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, the way they run this Heat culture.
Yep.
And why the way they run that organization, why does it breed success? You look at it, it's like 7 guys undrafted, and yet all of them have been big contributors to their success. Why does it breed success the way they do?
Obviously, a lot of people in the basketball world know of Pat Riley as the godfather of basketball.
Right.
That's what I've always called him, because there's a certain standard that he doesn't matter if you're LeBron James. Oh, you want Eric Spoelstra out of here? No,
You're
LeBron James. Like, I'm going to set the tone. And I think they have an unfair advantage. They have 2 of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game of basketball together in Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. When it's all said and done, people can say what they want about Eric Spoelstra. If he's able to pull this off, even if he doesn't, I think he's trending towards the top 5 greatest coach in NBA history. I mean, you can sit there and talk about Phil Jackson, you could talk about Pat Riley, Greg Popovich, Red Auerbach, and then you get into a Larry Brown, then you get into a Steve Kerr even before. But look at the X's and O's that he's been able to pull off with this roster. It makes a case for it.
It shows you where they've come. Because while they were part of the Big 3 era where it was all about stars, right? The Heat went that way when they got LeBron, they got Chris Bosh, put him with Dwayne Wade, went 4 straight finals, won 2. But then after that, what have they done? They've gone complete, I would call it counterculture. Everybody else is still chasing stars, trying to put stars together, whatever it takes. And then whatever stars we get, we'll play that way. The Heat are, this is our identity. This is who we are. This is how we're going to play. We'll find players who fit the way we play. And if you don't fit, you either fit in or fit out, right? LeBron once famously said.
Yeah.
But that's literally what they are. And the closest thing I can think of that they are is like the New England Patriots, the Patriot way. And how not everybody, it's not for everyone. Guys have gone there and they've realized like playing for Bill Belichick's a different thing. Playing for Pat Riley with Eric Spoelstra is a different kind of demand. Body fat, conditioning, all the demands on you. And oh, by the way, you might play a lot and then you might not play at all.
Feels more like the Pittsburgh Steelers to me, though, because every year you're like, all right, they're going to win like 7, 8 games, and they just exceed expectations every year.
It's interesting because Pat Riley, we just saw the graphic there. He's been involved in a quarter of the NBA Finals.
Crazy.
I mean, all of it.
A winner.
I mean, as a player, as a coach, as everything, and yet this culture, and you talk about that here. I mean, it's body fat. You got to be under 10% body fat when you come and play for the Miami Heat, and yet they deliver success.
I think, to a degree, championships can be bought. Culture has to be built.
Yeah.
And so this is not something that was baked overnight, right? And Spo has been very honest about this season in particular being very challenging at points, right? So this is a long-standing thing when you look at the Miami Heat. In some years, they pop up and they're in the finals. In other years, you're having conversations about what their offseason moves could be, but they continue to stay the course, right? They are very clear on who they are and the types of players that fit their system. And so I know yesterday we bounced around the ideas of some other key free agents. This summer is going to be very interesting because I do wonder, and we'll see, culture gets you far. I am not dismissing culture at all, but is this finals going to now be an example of the type of drafted power that you may need to get over the hump? Because Jimmy's been here. Like, Jimmy was here in the bubble.
Yeah, but it's also, again, it's a lesson, though, and Spo has talked about this, in believing in what you do and sticking with it, even when they were 11-30 to start a season. Eric Spoelstra's our coach. This is how we play, and we believe it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.